I boxed myself into a really bad situation, but I stayed calm, I stayed out of the way, and I stayed uninjured because of that. Had I just cleared the drop, none of this drama would have happened. Hey, welcome back. My name is Mark. I'm from Woodworker Source. What you saw there was a really bad screw up, right? I made a mistake that nearly cost me a very serious injury. Had I been moved over just a few more inches, I would have been right in the line of the fire. Could have gone onto my neck, my face, anything like that. So, for background, here's what's going on. I was working on a coffee table, a round coffee table, with a base that has some tapers and angles to it, with three legs, and that clip shows me cutting the second taper. Okay, so I cut the first piece, and the mistake I made there is that I didn't clear the drop away from the blade on that first piece, and so I reset up the jig and walk over and just start cutting the second one, not even realizing that piece was even there. I just didn't see it, didn't think about it, right? Start pushing, and I start to feel some resistance. You can see it in the video, like, "Oh, that thing's getting hard to push. What's going on?" And and I realized that, oh my God, that the wedge is, the harder I push, the more it gets wedged up against the riving knife, and I cannot get this cut done. I have to shut off the saw. So you see me go, kind of lean over to try to hit the switch. It's a really brief, like, oh hey, whoa, do not get in the line of fire. So I realized, this all happens in like a millisecond, the way your brain processes all this. I immediately think of that scene in that old movie Lethal Weapon when Sergeant Murtaugh, he's sitting on the toilet and he realizes that there is a pressure sensitive bomb underneath him. And so he's like, I'm going to live on this toilet until someone finds me. I kind of felt like that over there. Like, I am stuck holding this thing until someone comes into my garage and can shut that saw off for me. But again, this is a millisecond. I realized, oh, I'll just kick it with my foot. And right then, I'm about to kick it with my foot, kick the switch with my foot. And that's when, wham, that wedge flies out, embeds itself into the garage door. Big shock, but a little bit of relief. I was like, problem solved. Let's move on. Um, by the way, that garage door is an insulated garage door, so it pierced the foam. It didn't go through any metal. I don't know if I really need to express that, but in case that was a question, that's not the metal's on the outside. Anyway, it pierced the foam, is bottom line. Um, so, where are we at there? Well, okay. I shared it internally with my team, to kind of talk about a little, like, dude, I made a mistake. You guys, just FYI, always clear off your drops from your cuts, and then our marketing guy was like, hey, I'm going to post that on Instagram. I said, yeah, go for it. And then a lot of people had opinions about what happened there, but also a lot of people had confusion about what happened there. Namely, I'm going to bear with me while I'm going to just look at notes because I'm not going to memorize all this stuff. Yeah. Four things stuck out. Your blade is dull. Your sled is crap. Why didn't you use a bandsaw? And you should have reversed the taper going the other direction. Okay. Your blade is dull. I think I just covered that. It might be dull now, but the reason for the resistance wasn't dullness in the blade. It was because that wedge was preventing the cut from proceeding, right? Your sled is bowed. Your sled is crap. They're right. This is the sled I was using. It has a bow to it. All right, what this is, it's a piece of melamine, ply-core melamine with dovetail slots running across here, so that I can use what they call a dovetail clamp that I can clamp pieces down to this, and then I can set up a taper or a straight line at any angle using a series of stops. Two to set the angle and one back here to prevent it from sliding backwards. Usually I'm using like a longer piece of wood, and when you clamp it down in two spots, it pulls it flat. So there's that. Is it crap? I don't know. I don't think so. I still think it was fine. Yes, it's uncomfortable to push it through, but at the time, I said for making that cut, I said, I'll live with that. There's that. Why not use a bandsaw? Well, the primary thing is like it's that principle. When all you have is a hammer, every problem's a nail. I don't have a bandsaw, so I didn't think about using one. But even if I had one, I'm not totally sure I would use that for cutting tapers, just because it requires two operations. One to cut them and another operation to smooth out the cut. Yeah, like use a planer, use a joiner. Got a planer, don't have a joiner. Nevertheless, anyway, in my head, you can make these tapers just so much more efficiently and quickly on the table saw. That's that. Um, and then yeah, we got a DM that said, hey, you should just. What would help there is if you had cut the taper in the other direction, meaning, well, cut it so that the fat end of the taper is the drop near you. Then that would have prevented the piece from ending up jamming itself into the curve of the cut. Yeah, another criticism that came up was, hey man, you didn't turn off the soft or all that. What an idiot. So I was able to complete the cut, right? And then I turn around, I grab the wedge out of the door, look at it, throw it down. All the while, the table saw is running and I'm walking behind it. You're not supposed to do that. That's another rule. You should not break that rule. Open myself up to more danger. That was 100% an emotional response to the situation. I'm running on adrenaline and relief that it's over. And that's what I did. Right, wrong, or otherwise. Mostly wrong, right? But I'd say that the key takeaways here, though, is you got to clear your drops from the table saw before making another cut. Had I just cleared the drop, none of this drama would have happened. But I didn't. I boxed myself into a really bad situation, but I stayed calm, I stayed out of the way, and I stayed uninjured because of that. That's the major takeaway here. So, yeah, my name is Mark. I'm from Woodworker Source. We're a hardwood lumber company. I make videos from time to time about using woods of all varieties. We got another video coming out in a couple of days. May as well say that now. So keep an eye for that. So that, man, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.